Hi friends, today is October 16th, which means we finally crossed over into the second half of October. And NaNoWriMo is just 15 days away. Okay, so a little bit of disclaimer before we start this video. It is currently 29 degrees outside, but according to the weather app, and yes I checked, it feels more like 34 degrees. So as usual, it's hot and the heat is oppressive. So disclaimer number 2, the fans are on. So if you can hear them, I'm sorry, but I really can't turn them off or else I'm probably gonna boil to death in here. That's our disclaimers for today. Now I know I am late to the Preptober game and I'm late to Preptober planning because it's already halfway through October, but I knew this would happen and I planned ahead for it, so I did Preptember. I was on vacation from my day job in September, and one day I thought to myself, you know, you want to do NaNoWriMo this year, but you may not have enough time to plan in October, which is not something I've ever done before, by the way. I've always been a nano rebel, and if it's one thing I am, it's sane, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, and I've never won NaNoWriMo. So I decided this year I should plan. Then in September when I was on vacation, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to plan in October because I'll be back out to work by then. So I should use my time wisely and start planning in September. So I did Preptember as well. I think that idea was spot on because, as I said, it is halfway through October and I haven't had any time to do anything writing related. So I'm happy that I started in September. I did just a few things, most of the tedious work, as I like to call them, in September. The first one was to find ideas for character names, which is an idea I got from Sarah Cannon. So I went online and I jotted down a list of female names, a list of male names, probably around 50 something of each, and then some last names as well. And then I went through and did a bit of pairing to see what name combinations sounded best together, and I made a list of those as well. Then I made a list of tropes and trope combos for my project. Since I don't really know exactly what my project for NaNoWriMo is gonna be yet, I figured it would be a good way to get my creative juices flowing where brainstorming was concerned. So I did that, and I have them color coordinated into tropes I really want to do, tropes that I think will be good together, tropes that I'm not interested in at this time, tropes that I'm interested in but I don't know how to write them, so I would have to do more research on them and actually read more books that have the tropes in, etc. It was a whole lot of tedious planning in September. Then the next thing I did was do some brainstorming on scene ideas. Now I know I said that I don't know what my project is gonna be yet. However, I have some ideas of projects that I want to do. I think I have 4 of them. The first of which is a 4-part small town novella series. The second is a Christmas story. The third is a regular contemporary, which is something I've never written before, but I got an idea and I figured it sounded pretty good in my head, although it's not completely fleshed out yet, so I put it down on my list. And then the last idea, but certainly not the least idea, is to do draft 2 of Project Saving Grace and be a nano rebel, which, like I said, didn't work out well in the past, but I figure maybe because I already know this story, it might be different. So yeah, I did a bit of brainstorming for scenes with each of those story ideas, and I wrote them down in my notebook as well so that I could have something to go on when I finally make a decision and get into planning. So that was my Preptember journey. Now for Preptober, I just started actually yesterday, which was Friday, and I printed out a few workbooks that I could use to help me along. The first one was Natalia Lee's Preptober workbook for 2021. I printed that out. I also printed out a couple workbooks and planners and other resources from Sarah Cannon's at Heart Breedings. her resource library online. I did a bit of Pinterest searching for character ideas, the physicality of the characters, etc. And I did a bit of reading up on the Myers-Briggs personality index to kind of give me some inspiration on what my characters will be like. Yeah, so I did that yesterday, and now today I'm going to actually start really planning for Preptober. So the first thing I'm going to do is to put all of the printed workbooks into my binder. After that, I'm going to choose a project to work on. So you'll get to see me choose my project for NaNoWriMo and then hopefully actually start outlining it in today's vlog. The first thing I got was this Plot Your Novel workbook from Heart Breathings. That's author Sarah Cannon. I mentioned her quite a bit in this video. There are quite a few pages, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to unstaple them, of course, and put each leaf in one of these plastic jackets or plastic sheets, I guess. I also got this monster of a thing, which is Natalia Lee's 2021 Preptober workbook. It is 80 pages long, guys. I tried to print it back and front, but I don't know what was happening with the printer, and it ended up printing each on a separate page. So it's a lot of paper here. Fortunately for me, the printer got jammed, and so the last, I think, 20 pages or so did not print at the time of the first couple, well, not couple, the first 40 pages. So when I went to reprint it again, I tried to do the back and front, and it actually worked this time. So I have these last 20 pages back and front. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And then when I'm finished doing that, I'm going to go through my notebook here, which is where I have the majority of my notes. And I'm going to go through my Preptober plan. And make sure that I am on track. I am also going to go through my beat sheet notes from Save the Cat, and also my romance plotting beats as well, just to, you know, get my creativity flowing. Then make some more brainstorming notes and then actually start filling this thing out, because I don't want to fill it out without knowing exactly what I want to write on it, because I don't have to reprint any of the pages. That's just a waste of paper. So I got like halfway through putting the papers into the sheets, the plastic sheets, before I realized that I didn't have enough. So I decided instead to use my nifty old single hole puncher and punch 3 holes into each paper. So I kind of did a template on one blank paper and just used it to score each of the 80 pages and then punch single holes into all of them. It took me about an hour and a half. I think I watched the entirety of Letters to Juliet while I did it, but now at least I have some confetti. I finally have all of the pages inside the workbook. I did the same concept, which were to put them back to front, because the pages printed individually, and I just thought it would be cool to have them back to front like an actual book. So I did that. So these are the pages in the workbook. It has lots of things. This is the table contents here, and it has a Color Your Way to 50K, which is, I think, this beautiful page over here, which is like different fall themed pictures, and I guess with each 1,000 word mark that I hit, I can color one in. There are word count trackers, word sprint trackers. There's a self-care bingo. I think I'm gonna film myself filling in the bingo spots for this, and I am excited to fill in as much of it as possible before November 1st. I also want to plan today what days I'm going to be writing in November. I got this idea from author Sarah Cannon over on Heart Breathings, and what she was saying is that sometimes we go into it with overestimations. So you know that NaNoWriMo is 50,000 words in order to win the goal of NaNoWriMo, and the NaNoWriMo website divides those 50,000 words across the 30 days in November, which means that you have to write 16,067 words each day in order to get to the goal of 50,000. However, not everyone is able to write every single day, and if you don't take that into account before you start, you end up overestimating and then not finishing the goal of NaNoWriMo, which is to write 50,000 words. So for instance, if you know that at Thanksgiving your family is really busy and your Thanksgiving day you may not be able to write even one word, then you have to factor that in. If you know that you have a birthday coming up in November and writing on that day may just be impossible, you have to factor that in. You have to think about these things ahead of time. For me, my husband's birthday and my dad's birthday are both in November. I also know that I have a wedding and some sort of other event at work that I'm going to have to be at, and those things happen in the evening. Now, whereas when I work my day job, I'm working 8 to 4, the events happen after that time, so I'll basically end up working the entire day on those days. So I know writing is not a possibility for those days, and I also know that I'm probably going to be going out to dinner with both my husband and my dad on their birthdays, so I'm not going to have enough time to write over 1,500 words in that day. So what I'm going to do is look at the calendar and block out the days that I know I won't be able to write, and then use the remaining days to determine how much words I have to write each day in order to get to my 50,000 word count goal. So if I only have 20 available writing days, I would have to divide the 50,000 by 20 to find out how much words I have to write on each of those 20 days in order to win NaNoWriMo. I hope that makes sense to you, but yeah, I guess when I do it, you can see me do it, because I think I really need to do that in order to maximize my efficiency during NaNoWriMo. So yeah. Okay, so this is my November 2021 NaNoWriMo writing schedule calendar. I just created this on Canva, and this is what I'm going to use, and I think I plan to use it for all future NaNoWriMos. I know for a fact that I won't be writing on the 26th or the 30th of November, because the 26th is my husband's birthday and the 30th is my dad's birthday, and we may go out to dinner on both days. So what I'm going to do is X these days out. Then I'll make a quick note down here in this little shaded area. I also know that on the 7th of November I have a wedding at work that I am going to have to be present at, so I'm going to X that day out as well. And I'm also going to add it to the shaded area down here. Okay, so I have all my events already crossed out. Now I have to think of the days that I may not be able to write. I don't want to write on Sundays, so I'm going to cross those out so that I exclude them from my possible writing days. Now if I end up writing on Sundays, then that would be great, but I'm trying to keep Sundays as a day off kind of day, so I'm gonna X out all Sundays and make a note of it down here. So note 1, Sunday equals rest day. So I know why Sundays are crossed out. I also know that I have to give myself 2 days for possibly not feeling well or possibly just being too tired to do anything. I'm not gonna cross out any specific day, but I am gonna make a note that says 2 extra rest days, and I'm gonna do that in this little box right here. Okay, and I'm also gonna make a note down here. So far I have eliminated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 days from my 30-day total, which means I have 22 days to work with. I'm gonna make a note down here. Now I'm gonna get up my calculator and I am going to say 50,000 words divided by 22 gives me 2,272 words. Well, it's 72.72, so I'm going to round it off to 73. So 2,273 words. That means that every writing day I have to get at least 2,272 words in order to reach the 50,000 word mark for NaNoWriMo. So, word count goal. (2,273) words. So now I know that I can't follow the 1,167, I think it is, word count goal that NaNoWriMo gives, because I don't have 30 days available to me in November to write. I only have 22, and with those 22 days I'm gonna have to clock 2,273 words each day in order to win NaNoWriMo. So this is how I do my writing schedule calendar, and I hope that it helps you as well, so that you can go into NaNoWriMo with proper expectations and not have unmet expectations at the end of November 30th. Okay, I'm back, and I think I made a decision on my project. I've decided that I won't be doing draft 2 of PSG, Project Saving Grace, and that's just because I think I need a break. For the past 2 NaNoWriMos I've been working on PSG, and it's been a lot harder than I thought it would be, and I think it's because I've been so wishy-washy with how I've been doing it. The first go around, NaNoWriMo 2019, I was complete pantser with it. I just started NaNoWriMo. I think I even started NaNoWriMo days into NaNoWriMo. It was just a off-the-cuff thing, and maybe midway through I got stuck. And then NaNoWriMo 2020, I tried to do the project again, and I got further along, but I still didn't plot sufficiently for it. So by the time I got to the dreaded middle, the promise of the premise, after a while I got stuck again. Then I put it on the back burner, and I put writing on the back burner in total. Then in Camp NaNoWriMo this year, 2021, April, I think, Camp NaNoWriMo April, I decided to rewrite Project Saving Grace. I did some plotting, but I didn't do enough plotting, and as I started writing, the entire story changed. Now, the premise of the story was still the same, but a lot of the plot points changed, and it was getting increasingly difficult for me to figure out my way through the muck. I don't even want to call it muck because it's my book baby, but it was getting difficult to figure my way out of the hole that I dug for myself. And so now I don't want to do another NaNoWriMo working on the same project. That'd be 3 years of NaNoWriMos and 1 Camp Nano working on the exact same project, and I just feel like I need something new. So I've narrowed it down to 2 choices, which is the 4-part novella small town series and the Christmas story. I think the Christmas story would be pretty awesome to write because November is close to Christmas, and in Antigua we don't celebrate Thanksgiving, so by the time I'm midway through November, Christmas is gonna be popping up in Antigua. People are gonna start having up decorations, the music is gonna be playing, etc. So I think the season would help me to write the story, but I'm feeling very excited for the small town novella series, and after going through some of my notes, going through the tropes, going through my notes on Save the Cat, I'm getting more ideas and more inspiration for the novella series than I am for the Christmas story. And so I've decided that my Camp NaNoWriMo project for 2021 is going to be the 4-part novella Small Town series. Now that is a mouthful in itself, and I think I'm gonna come up with a better name for it than that, a series name somewhere down the line, but for now that is what we're gonna call it. I don't even know what an acronym for that would be. Yeah, that's a mouthful. So that's what I'm gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. I'm so happy. I'm so excited that I actually have a project, and I'm actually gonna plan the project, and I have so many ideas bursting in my head. It's gonna be 4 different romances, so 4 novellas about 4 different couples, and hopefully it falls within like the 60,000 range. I may not finish the entire story within NaNoWriMo, as in probably like a first draft of each novella, but yes, that is my NaNoWriMo project for this 2021. I am super stoked. I'm going to start making some notes. I'm gonna go through my Save the Cat notes, and I'm also gonna go through some notes that I got on YouTube for plotting romance, and I'm gonna see how far I can get with each storyline where plotting is concerned, and then I'll just continue over the next 2 weeks of plotting the stories, and hopefully I have some good news to share just before November actually comes around. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. This NaNoWriMo is gonna be so great. I already feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I don't wanna psych myself up too much and then have a big fall, because I also don't know what my health situation is gonna be, but fingers crossed, prayers up that all is going to be well, and I'm actually gonna be able to win NaNoWriMo this year. So guys, if you're going to be doing NaNoWriMo this year, I would love to be buddies on the NaNoWriMo platform. I'm going to put my name, my nano name, I don't know what it's called, my buddy name I guess, in the description below, and we can be buddies there. Also, I'd love to know what your plans are for NaNoWriMo. Are you doing Nano this year? And if so, what is your project about? If you don't want to share too much in the comments, you can always DM me on Instagram or Twitter at Janisha Benjamin across all platforms. Guys, it's been so fun talking to you guys today and sharing my NaNoWriMo project with you. If you enjoyed my video today, please hit the thumbs up button, and of course subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you can be kept up to date with my Nano project for this year and also future videos. It's been fun, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.